Welcome to our second video. Here we are. Most people don't realize that 95 to 98% of our behavior comes from the subconscious, the part of us that runs on identity, not effort. And Tom Holland is such a good example of this. He makes success feel and look effortless, and it actually is. So today I want to show you a subtle pattern in the way he talks, something that can explain perhaps why opportunities and success flow to him so naturally. So this is a really, really good one for all of us to take notice, especially if you're trying to become more successful in your area of work or in what you do. Pay attention. This is going to be very interesting to discuss. Okay, so I watched an interview where I think it's a few years old, but Tom was describing how things happen to him. Like in the interview, he was talking about his career. He started very young, doing certain things, but he said he never chased fame. It just happened. I was just there having fun. His words. I didn't chase fame. It just happened. I was there having fun. As a young child, he would show up to auditions, not really caring if he would ever work again or not. He was just showing up to have a good time. Now, most people assume that perhaps he was just being humbled, but there's actually a really important pattern to notice underneath what he was describing. What is that pattern? Is the detachment. Detachment is not indifference, but it's detachment. He was creating his career without even knowing that he was making a career for himself, but he was approaching it from joy. No need, no pressure. If I don't get this role, it means that my life is over, I'm a failure, or anything like that. He wasn't approaching his career from that place. He approached it from, I'll show up and see what's happened, and I'll make sure that when I get the role, I'll have a great time. I'll have fun. Okay? This I know may be triggering for a lot of people in many levels. And I want you to please, before you become triggered, notice your patterns, listen first, okay? We're going to go deeper into what could be. Again, I don't know Tom. He's not one of my clients. I don't work one-on-one with him. But I think there's a lot to be learned if we are open to it from what he was saying there. So let's go deeper into this pattern and see what's underneath, okay? Okay, what I really hope to show you with this video is to remind you of the joy, the simplicity of childhood, right? How easy it was to be a kid. You just show up and do things because you enjoy them, right? Kids are not there thinking whether if they do something, will it lead to something else, or they don't second guess what's, where this could take me. They just show up. They have a good time. They make sure they have fun. And then they go. Their identity in that level, remember, the subconscious is the identity that we operate from, not effort, runs who we think we are, how we see ourselves, right? So in that moment in childhood, the identity is very, I like this, I don't like this. End of story. Am I having a good time? I'm not having a good time. That's it. So that's that detachment that I alluded to before. However, as adults, and of course, because we have more responsibility, because there's more at stake, because I'm not saying that we are being unreasonable, but as adults, we shift our identity and we approach those experiences more as, will I be good enough for this? Will I succeed? If I start this business, what will people think about me? What are others going to say? Am I going to be judged by my friends or my peers? Is this worth it? Right? So what if I put all my time and energy into this audition and I don't get the role? Right? Like what we ran all those what ifs, all those questions behind the scenes. And what happens is the moment that joy, fun, having a good time starts to become pressure, our whole inner system tightens. Our nervous systems gets activated, right? We start to embody that pressure. We notice it in the way that we breathe, in the way that in our posture, in the way how we feel in our body. All that shows up, right? And so when Tom says that he never built an identity around chasing outcomes, I believe that still to this day, he's more concerned with having fun. He wired his inner system, he wired his subconscious around an identity that says, I'm here to enjoy this. He was even talking about how in some of his Marvel contracts, he has clauses that say that, for instance, he shouldn't do activities that are risky or that may lead to injury. And he said he kept going to the snow and snowboarding, just making sure that no one knew about it, right? So he, even at a very high level of success where he could have multi-million-dollar contracts in the balance, he would still keep choosing the things that make him happy, that he enjoyed, and then make sure that his employers didn't hear about it. Now, there's a lot to be said around that too. Maybe that's reckless, maybe that's irresponsible, whatever. But as I said, I'm not here to judge anybody. What I want to show you is how he built his identity from a place of, I'm not chasing money, I'm not chasing fame, I'm not chasing success, but I want to have a good time. I want to do things that make me feel happy. And that that creates ease in the body, in the system, that creates openness, that people who have that pattern, they're often end up attracting a lot more opportunities, and like attracts like. So when you operate from a place where you don't need anything, if I lose this contract, I'll be broke, I'll never work in Hollywood again. If they find me snowboarding, oh my gosh, I lost all the Marvel contracts and my career will be over. He could have gone down that path and it would have been valid as well. And he chose to approach his work from the place of having a good time. And that ease, that way of being comfortable, not needing anything external, prioritizing his inner world, feeling safe within himself, feeling happy in himself, that attracts more opportunities. Law of attraction. So I guess the deeper point is, when your actions come from joy, your whole inner system relaxes, it opens up. When your actions come from pressure, everything becomes tighter, more hesitant, more pressure. And so one leads to an openness that attracts, and the other one reflects tightness that tends to repel. And that's the difference. Now, I think we've seen this many times, especially around money, when someone may be feeling like they don't have enough money or they need some extra money. Something happens, it's an emergency. And then they start making decisions from that place of lack. And one decision leads to an even worse decision. It's that tightness that almost like shut us down from being able to see where possibilities are. And that's very real. And that's what I wanted to highlight this. I mean, you see it in relationships where someone is not feeling safe in a relationship and then they start to act from that place, and it usually leads to a spiral that goes down, not up, right? We see this in so many things. So let's move the conversation away from Tom, whether you agree with what he does or you don't, whether you like him or not. It's not about Tom, this video. It's about you. And noticing, starting to recognize in your relationships, in your work, in your family life, in your friendships, in your intimate relationships, how are you approaching decisions and how do you act? Are you acting from chasing something, needing something that can perhaps be causing you to repel the same thing that you're trying to achieve? Or are you approaching it from openness, knowing that you got it, that your inner happiness is more important than anything else, your alignment, you could call it, and noticing that perhaps that leads to nicer, greater, more abundant opportunities, relationship, friendships, whatever. Okay, so that's the main point that I want you to take away from this video today. Okay, so just to wrap it up, if you have been pushing, forcing, or trying to prove something, try reconnecting with the part of you that actually enjoys the process, the love for the process, the fun. And that state is the magnet. That's where you start to magnetize things to you and no effort needed, okay? All right, that's it for today. If you want to understand your own patterns, the ones shaping 95 to 98% of your decisions, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, help me reach more people with this message. I break down subconscious behaviors in a way that actually helps you see yourself more clearly. Until next time.